and we were like on the dance floor, my husband, and I saw her, this girl that I talked to, just glowing. And I was like, Carly, you look amazing. And she came up to me and she was like, Ashley, you changed my life with that talk that we had. And I was like, what? And it was like the whole room kind of froze. And I turned to Todd, my husband, and I was like, I think I'm supposed to be a life coach.
Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the quantum coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this.
Welcome back, manifestors. This is Jenna from Ashley's team. And if you're listening to this on the week it comes out, welcome. Ashley is officially on maternity leave. Today's episode is an interview that Ashley did with her friend Gina, so please enjoy it, and we hope you have an amazing holiday.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Heart and Grit Show. I have a special guest with me today. I am so excited to introduce you guys, and maybe it's not an introduction, but to have Ashley Gordon from Quantum Coach Academy and a few other things I'm sure she will fill you in on here with me today. And I just want to preface that I have known Ashley since 2014. Oh my gosh, that's almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
It is. We did yoga teacher training together, and I have watched her, and she's on Zoom with me, so it's weird talking about her as a third person, but I've watched you grow into what you are now today. And it's crazy to think where we started at together and where we are now. And so I'm super excited to have everyone hear your story and whatever else comes up. So Ashley, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. It's so crazy that was 10 years ago. That blows my mind. And also like doesn't at the same time. It's weird. Well, I don't even know where to start. So yeah, started in yoga teacher training, and I was really, obsessed with the craft of transformation that would happen on the yoga mat, as I know you are, and probably many of your listeners. And, I kind of took that into figuring out like what was next for me, because I was working in real estate for years with my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband. And I realized that I had this calling to become a coach. And so I transitioned into coaching, into more so like spiritual life manifestation coaching. And I was doing that for quite some time, like maybe a year and a half. And people started coming to me. And that was like, there's a whole stories in there, but I'm just giving you like the long short of it. People started coming to me then asking for business support. Like, how did you grow your business? And then I started transitioning into business coaching. And from there, I realized that there were so many people teaching business, and there were so many people teaching how to market yourself and put yourself out there. And it's all so important and so relevant. And I was at an event with my friend at her mastermind event, and I was speaking, and she said, what do you want to speak about? And she's like, manifestation, business, this, that. And I was like, well, it's all coaches in the room. I'm really passionate about like being an amazing coach, because I had built my business really solely on that. Like, yes, I was marketing myself, but I really feel like the majority of my business came from being good at coaching and being able to facilitate those transformations for the clients. And so that night we kind of created this framework, and that was like the birth of the Quantum Coaching Academy, which is a fully internationally accredited coach training program. We certify in 8 modalities, and now it's like a beast of a program that I literally never saw coming. until I did. And so that's what I do today. That's like the really short version of the whole story.
All right, we're going to tease some of that apart. I want to know if you can go back to so you were in real estate. You're also working at a yoga studio, correct?
Yeah, I was working at the front desk.
Okay. So working for all intents and purposes, like reception at the front desk. And what did you have a real estate license? Were you selling real estate?
I was selling real estate for 4 years. So actually I didn't work at the front desk until I quit my real estate job.
Yeah. Okay. So you were working real estate, you quit your real estate job, you transitioned over to working in the yoga studio.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but when I was in yoga teacher training, I was held accountable to not come back to the training until I had a clearing conversation to let go of the job in real estate. And I had to like talk to my future mother-in-law and just tell her like my plans. And it was really, really, really challenging. And I was like, not going to go to training without having that conversation. So then I did. And then I had no job. So I was working at the yoga studio making $10 an hour.
I do remember that. I think I got attached to she has to have this hard conversation with her future mother-in-law. And I couldn't remember what it was about, but I was just like, that sucks. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it either.
I do, because I remember where we were sitting. I remember where you were standing. I can picture the
Oh my
room.
God, wow. I know.
I have one of those memories, the visual memories. It was when we were in the middle of the room and we were facing the lobby walkway area and the windows were behind you.
Oh my God. Wow, Gina. Damn,
So,
girl.
all right. So you left the real estate and then you're working at the yoga studio. What was the defining moment? Like, what kind of set you into this? I have to start my own business.
So I never thought I would be an entrepreneur ever. That was never something that I ever considered. I never had this desire. It wasn't anything ever on my radar. Until it was. So I was working at the front desk and people started coming in and they'd be late for class. And so a lot of you listening probably know in Baptiste yoga, you're late for class, you're not getting in, or any yoga class. I don't know. It's hard to come in late to a yoga class. So people would be late and they would miss class and they would come and talk to me at the front desk and we would talk for the whole class, ohm to ohm. So, well, not ohm to ohm, but till they ohmed at the end. And this kind of sparked this idea of coaching in my mind of like, like everyone comes to me and like shares so much with me. And then it wasn't until it never like really, really hit me until I was at a wedding. And I had a conversation with one of the ladies that was also at the wedding and I hadn't seen her in a couple of months. And we were like on the dance floor and I was a little bit drunk with my husband. And I saw her, this girl that I talked to, just glowing. And I was like, Carly, you look amazing. And she came up to me and she was like, Ashley, you changed my life with that talk that we had. And I was like, what? And it was like the whole room kind of froze. And I turned to Todd, my husband, and I was like, I think I'm supposed to be a life coach. And it just kind of like downloaded. And that was when I knew that was like the defining moment. And so I was like Googling home on the bus, like from the wedding. You know how they have like those like shuttle buses? Yes. I'm Googling like, can you make money as a life coach? Like, what do life coaches do? Like, I had no clue, not a clue. So that's kind of how that was the seed.
So that was the seed. What was the first actionable step? Because I think a lot of people get stuck in the seed.
Yeah. They're like, I want to do this thing, but they don't do it. I was at a point where I had absolutely nothing to lose because I didn't know where I was going at that point. So just for timeline, to give you an idea, I probably had that conversation to quit real estate about 1 month before that wedding. And then 2 weeks after I had let's just say 2 months before the wedding. And then a month later, we graduated our training. I got married a week later after we graduated our training, and the wedding that I was at was a week after my wedding. So it was a very short time period where it was like, I quit the job and then I got the job at the yoga studio and then I got this down and then I got married and then I got this download. And then it was like all happening kind of very close together. And what took me out of the idea of it and into the action of it, I think it was, I made a large investment. So I told a couple friends and I said, I think this is the direct, and I was very scared to tell people because people were very judgmental, like of like, what's a life coach? Oh, that's weird. Like, I don't know. I was a little insecure about it initially. And, my one friend said, oh, I think this girl that we went to high school with does that. You should reach out to her. So I had nothing to lose. I reached out to her. I asked her what she did. She said she went to this coaching school. And I was like, I think I'm going to do that. And that was the first thing I did. I signed up for coaching school. It was $12,000. I put it on a credit card. No clue how I was going to pay for that. But I knew that this was what I was going to do. And after that, after I like paid for that, I started telling people around me that were talking to me at the yoga studio that I was a coach. And that was scary. Like actually like claiming that identity of like, I'm a coach. This is what I do. If you want some help, I can help you. And I would actually coach people for free. So I started getting clients. I had like 5, 6 clients that I was just coaching for free. I would coach them at their house, Starbucks, yoga studio, wherever. And then one day, one of the clients gave me $65 and she was like, you're changing my life. Like, I want you to take this money and I want to pay you moving forward. I was like, what? Okay. I'll pause there.
All right. Yeah. So there's 3 really specific things in all of that. I'm going to go through the 3 and then I'm going to let you decide which one you want to expand on. Because I think it's really important because I get the question, well, how do I do that? And then followed by the, but what? And that's typically attached to the fear of losing something very tangible. So you had nothing to lose. So that's the first.
Yeah.
Right? What I want people to hear, the first is there's so many people that I work with and so many people that talk to me and they've got this other thing hanging out over here that their foot's in that has them anchored to another job.
Yeah.
Or another
job.
identity, an exit door, a safety net. And I would love to entertain the idea of like, the business won't happen as long as that thing is in place. Okay. So
yeah,
it won't happen until you have nothing to lose. As long as you have something to lose, then yeah, you may never do it. So there's that. The second one is until you throw a large amount of fucking money you may not have at it, you won't commit to it.
Yeah.
And the third one is until you start to identify primarily as that thing. Because it's like I was talking to somebody the other day, a client, and she has another job at the same time. And the business that she's trying to work on was not her primary identifier. She's like, but I have to go to work. She's referencing this other job. I'm like, but are you not at work when you're in your business?
Yeah.
Right. That wasn't.
Yeah.
So it's the primary identifier, putting an investment into it. And then do you have to strip yourself down to nothing to lose?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you like where do you want to take this conversation based on those things that I'm hearing of like these?
I love that you outlined those the way that you did. It makes sense. I'm like, oh yeah, that's relevant. Yeah, she's right. That's what happened. I've never put it that way before. Honestly, I do feel like they all kind of like link together. But if I had to do one, I would say, let's go down the road of let's go down the road of identity, because like claiming like, this is who I am, because I think the investment conversation is like I feel like everyone knows that, like you have to invest in yourself, obviously, like you want to learn how to do anything, you have to pay and learn the skills to learn how to do it. Like, that's just the way that life is. It's for anything. And then as far as like I had nothing to lose. I think you said it all with that. Like, you're right. Like, I think that getting yourself in that position, is only going to propel you. It's fucking scary. Excuse my language. Don't excuse me, whatever. It is fucking scary. And for me, the hardest thing out of those three things was stepping into claiming like, this is who I am, because I had such a hard time with imposter syndrome of just like being able to say, I am a life coach, and letting it land instead of, and I do this and I do that and I do all these other things, like lead, and I'm a yoga teacher and I practice Reiki and I lead workshops and I like, you know what I mean? Just like, this is what I do and this is who I am. And this is what I offer.
And the step of, and you said it when you first started, is I am an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not just a life coach, but I'm also like you are. And so many people listen, like, if you can't step into, I am an entrepreneur, which by definition means I run my own business and I take a risk to do it.
Right. Well, that didn't hit me till later, to be honest. I did not consider myself an entrepreneur at that point at all.
When did that hit you and what changed when it did?
It hit me when I was overcommitting myself. So I was actually teaching like, I don't know, 15 plus hours of yoga a week. And that was just a lot. And I was teaching at a drug and alcohol rehab. I was teaching at a yoga studio. And I was also seeing clients, life coaching clients. And I was adding up the math of like my time, of how much time I was spending before a yoga class setting it up, and then how much time I was there, and then how much time till I was left. And those 3 hours that I was spending there were amazing. And they filled me up. And I was so burnt out that I had to make a cut somewhere. I had to cut something out. And that's when I kind of said, like, I have a business, and I have a business and I have to make a decision. And that was like the first like entrepreneurial decision that I made, was like a scheduling decision. And so what changed from there was, never thought that I would stop teaching yoga, especially at a yoga studio or at the rehab center, because especially the rehab too, I was there for 2 hours and I was making $100 for those 2 hours. And that was like, at the time, it was amazing to me. I was like, wow, like this is good money. And yet I realized that I was coaching people for more money in 1 hour. And so I was able to start to scale my income and my business because I had to make those decisions.
Yes. And so it's so interesting because you left the real estate. You thought you had nothing to lose, but in reality, you did have another job.
I did. I was teaching yoga. Oh, and I was working at the front desk still.
Yeah. So the entrepreneurial piece kicked in when you committed all of your work time to your business instead of side hustling around all the different places.
Correct. So I still had side hustles, even though in my mind, I was like, because in my mind, I was like, yoga teachers could really make more money. Like, they should just do what I'm doing. They could be teaching all these classes and go to these different places. So to me, in my mind, it was a little bit of a business, but it was a business because it was on my terms, but I was still working for other people.
You know what time it is. It is time to turn your coaching calling into a coaching craft and become a world-class certified quantum coach. Applications are open right now for a very limited time to join us for this next cohort that is going to completely change the trajectory of your business and your life. And I know some of you have heard me talk about QCA over and over and over again, and some of you have just heard it for the first time, or it's like you're hearing it for the first time and you're like, wait, maybe I do want to do this. Maybe this is the right program for me. And that is what our application process is here to help you make that decision on, is applying to the program, getting on a call with myself or my team member so we can help you make the best decision for yourself. The Quantum Coaching Academy has 4 powerful phases of transformation. We teach you all the foundations that you need to be a powerful space holder and know how to ask powerful questions. And we teach you advanced coaching tools as well to help your clients go through deep processes and really deepen their skill set. And we teach you all of the NLP content that you need, neuro-linguistic programming. We equip you with 8 certifications to be world-class at taking your clients through powerful transformations to the point where your testimonials will speak for themselves. It's time to stop coaching from your own personal experience and your own personal development and what you've gone through. We want to teach you how to actually be a powerful coach. And being a powerful coach has nothing to do with your own experience. It's usually your experience that leads you to wanting to become a coach in the first place. You're like, I've gone through this powerful transformation and now I want to help other people go through it. But what got you to your transformation might not be what gets someone else to theirs. And so we have so many beautiful skills and processes and tools and certifications to help give you the confidence that you need to be able to say to someone and look at someone in the face or through Zoom and say, I know I can help you. And to be so confident in your abilities to take someone through true change, lasting change, generational healing. It's so powerful. Our community is so beautiful. It's so strong. And we're waiting for you. We're waiting for you to say yes. And I know it can feel scary. It can bring up so many different things all the way around, but I just want you to be brave enough to apply. Be brave enough to take one step and get yourself one step closer to what you see yourself doing. And I was just having this conversation with my husband. We were talking about how fast life goes by. Life goes by so quickly. And it's like, we don't have time to stress and to worry and to focus on things that are not taking us where we ultimately want to be. We need to really embrace where we are and go for it. We need to go for the things that set our soul on fire, even if it's scary, just by taking one step at a time. So I want to invite you to apply right now. The link is in the show notes or in my Instagram bio at thequantum.coach. Apply now, set up your call, and let's see if this is the right fit for you. And we can't wait to connect to see if you are meant to be a quantum coach.
Yes. And didn't have
Yeah.
to just wake up one day and be like, you know what? I think today I'm just going to go to the studio and do an 8-hour immersion on the fly. Like the creative making all the decisions wasn't there.
No.
Got it. So again, back to the as long as you have your foot in something else,
Yeah.
the exit door, even if you don't see it as that. And I don't know if you ever felt that way, that it's like, well, if that doesn't work out, I still got the yoga over here.
Oh, I definitely felt that way. I can just come back to this.
Yeah,
That was my comfort zone.
absolutely. I feel that.
Yeah.
They did have to close the yoga studio to be
I
doing what I'm
know.
doing right now.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all amazing. And where was there a huge miss for you in all of this? Like a big in the moment failure.
Mhm.
I asked this question, but I talked to a lot of people that I know, in hindsight, it's like, I wouldn't even call it that now, but in the moment failure, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to get a job, moment experience that's got really messy for you during the building of your business.
Mm. For me, it really revolved around burnout. So, in hindsight. So basically I was very lucky because my husband was supporting me at the time. He was just like, build your business and see what happens. Just have fun with it. And he wasn't like, you need to make this amount of money. He didn't put any pressure on me to make money, which I feel was such a blessing. And I feel so lucky for that. And what ended up happening for me was I would I'm a generator. My human design is generator, which is like, we're like the workforce of the world. Like, what, I don't know what your human design is, but you're probably
I'm an MG.
okay, that makes sense. So I would stay up at all hours and just work. I would work. I would take on so many clients that I couldn't even like keep their information straight when I was like working with them. Like it was like, okay, switching gears. And I didn't have a clear niche, and I was just working with like anyone. So I would have like an 18-year-old client, and then I would have a 70-year-old woman as a client, and then I would have this person as a client. So I wasn't working in like anything specific. It was just all over the place, and it was a lot of energy. And I was building things on the back end and trying to do workshops and do things online and bring it online and create a course. And I was just doing a lot. And I would get to the point where I was so burnt out and exhausted that I would completely forget my why. I would completely forget like where I came from, why, like what I wanted here. And to the point where I would want to quit, like where I would actually say to Todd, like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, why am I doing this to myself? This is for what? Why do I do it? Like, it was so bad that I didn't end up in the hospital or anything, thank God, but it was just to the point where I couldn't function properly. It was just like, I was so inundated and my energy was so stretched, so thin that I would daydream what it would be like just to have nothing to do and to want to quit.
So I call this the Walmart problem.
Okay. Tell me.
You try to be Walmart.
Oh yeah.
Right? You try to offer everything to everyone and never say no. And the experience you had is like the experience sometimes we have when we go into Walmart, to the point that we like short circuit. We can't even get what we came in here for. We just got to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I see this all the time when I work with clients. I'm like, you're trying to be Walmart. You don't want to say no to anything. You're scared to upset anybody.
Yeah.
And you're just like nickeling, hustling
So hard
for every single dollar, and not wanting to spend any single dollar to help set up the things that take things off your plate, right?
That was definitely me. I was hoarding the money that I was making.
Hoarding the money.
I was afraid that I wouldn't make it again.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even buy myself, like I wouldn't celebrate like with spending money, because I was like, I didn't have a good relationship with it at that time. So yeah.
So interesting. So yeah. And I think this is huge. And like for everyone listening, that it can look like we don't have money issues. Some of us out there in the business world running the businesses. Yeah. And we do have the money issues, or we've been through the money issues, and they may still come up, but it's just like, and that's over there.
Yeah.
Just like some of the junk you put in your closet, you're like, I've been meaning to get rid of that, but it's still there. But you still fucking function and move forwards and do what needs to be done. Totally. And that's the next level. So moving into season 2, I'm bringing in this theme of next level. And a lot of what I have been talking about is the idea of, in order to get next level success, you have to get next level X, Y, and Z. And one of the big ones that I have filled the blank in is like next level awareness. Of like this morning, I got really triggered this morning by clients, and I was really upset, but at the same time I could watch myself be upset and be like, yeah, this is ridiculous. Like I could laugh at myself and still allow myself to be upset at the same time. And it's like this next level awareness of all of this shit's going to happen, and so what?
Yeah.
You're still going to just do the thing anyway. Like you're just going to do the thing. This is just how it is. Like this is life, day-to-day life. So, and that allows me for next level success, because when I can see that, I'm not running around thinking I need to find another job. I'm not worrying about like if people cancel or if I'm already like, I'm just not like, it just doesn't.
Or someone's payment declines.
Yes.
If someone's payment declines. Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens too. Yep.
Got it. So what do you think you need to let next level, or what do people need to be willing to next level that's kind of messy and not something like we're throwing up on Instagram or people are probably not talking about, in order to reach next level success, which everyone is talking about? Like, that phrase actually drives me crazy. I almost didn't want to say next level because
Yeah.
everyone's using it, but I'm like, but I want to talk about the real next level stuff that you actually that comes along with that little bitty piece of next level success.
Yeah, there's so much I can say about this right now. So first I want to share that in QCA, we have like this quote that we say that's like higher levels of awareness lead to higher levels of breakthroughs, like with your clients. Like when you can help your clients like gain those higher levels of awareness within themselves, it doesn't have to be some crazy quantum shift. It doesn't have to be some like crazy aha moment, but it's just like that next level of awareness, like you were just speaking of, that gives you like that breakthrough to get to the success that so we're very aligned on that. It's very cool. So I know we were talking about kind of like the early days of business, but I'll just share more recently, because where I'm at right now is we run a really big business, and I am 7.5
Okay,
months.
can I pause you for a second? Because I want to
Yeah.
set this up. I want to set this up. So just remind everyone, you started out as a life coach,
Yeah.
coaching for free, then eventually making about $65 an hour.
Yep.
And when was that? Like 2016-ish?
I would say 2017,
17.
2018. Yeah.
Okay, 5 years later, fast forward, give us the rundown.
Okay. So 5 years later, fast forward, we run a 7-figure business, and I have a beautiful, amazing team, and I am 7.5 months pregnant. So I am prepping right now to go on maternity leave, which is a whole nother next level in and of itself. And in this transition process, like the messiness of getting to the next level, like prepping for leave is actually going to help us get to a whole nother level in the business, because we're putting in more automations, we're putting in more infrastructure. Like there's so much that's going into it. And my assistant of 3 years gave her notice on August 15th. So we're recording this on September 20th. So
And
that
you're due November 16th.
and I'm due November 16th, correct. So that was like, holy shit. The relationship wasn't working for me either anymore. I just didn't see it coming in that moment. Even though I kind of did, I was like a little bit in denial, but I was also trying to onboard someone else to fill the role or to help out with the role, because the communication was just so off. But what was your question? Am I answering it?
In order to have next level success, you have to have
Yeah.
success, you need to have next level what that's going to be kind of that messy, murky round of people maybe not wanting to do.
Yeah. Well, for me personally, it is next level support. Like I personally need next level support in my business, which feels very scary because I'm investing more in team than I ever have before. My expenses are higher than they ever have been before. And as you grow your business to new levels and new heights, the expenses go up in your business and your income goes up in your business, or that's the goal, right? So, again, going back to investing, right? One of the first things we talked about, I'm doing the same thing that I did in the beginning. I do have more to lose now, but it's in a different context. Right. So, yeah, I'm making bigger investments to have larger support, to be able to like support the business that we have, but also support me when I'm on maternity leave. So it feels extremely messy, and edgy and scary. It feels scary.
Would you also say that this is next level trust?
Yes, 100. That's so very intuitive of you, because that's definitely what keeps coming up
Because
over and over again.
how long are you planning to check out as completely as possible of your business?
From November 1st until January like 15th.
Okay. 2.5 months maternity leave. I just want to put this in like a real world context, real world context. Especially for your listeners out there who are starting a business or in a business. Can you tap out of your business for 2.5 months and it still run day to day? Because that's what's happening, right? Your business is still going to run.
Oh yeah. 100%.
So that requires the investment for that to happen. And then the trust in the people that are going to do that for you.
Totally.
Next level investing, next level trust.
Yeah. So good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Ashley, what would you like to leave with people? And I think it's so weird coming out of my mouth. I feel like, and this may be the first time I've ever just called you Ashley, not Ash. The whole time. Every time I say it, I'm like, wait, am I using the wrong name?
That's so funny.
I know. Even my phone, it still says Ash, I think.
Aww.
What for the person who is got their business started and they're either like side hustling it and hanging on to that job for dear life, or they've kind of started the business and it is the only thing they're into, but they just can't pick up any momentum because they're scared to invest. They're scared to take the next level of something. What would you share with them? What could you just go back and tell yourself?
Yeah. I mean, if I could sit myself down and look at myself and like hold my face and be like, Ashley, you already are everything you want to be. You're creating the business of your dreams. Like it's all happening. Like that's really what I needed to hear back then, is like, it's all happening. And it's like, just trust the decisions. Like, again, going back to trust, man, it's wild. Trust the decisions that you make along the way. Like even to like leave the yoga behind or to leave this behind, like every little choice that I've made along the whole path, invest in this person, hire this coach, do that, like every single little thing, invest in this platform. Cause that was a big thing too in the beginning. What platforms do I use? I don't know. Trusting myself every single step. Did they all work out? No, they didn't. Not the way that I thought that they should, but I learned everything I needed to learn to get to the next level. So, yeah, it really is like knowing that it's all happening and trust yourself. I know it's like, so it sounds so cliche, but
it's so necessary. And it's actually, I did a little short course called The Committed CEO. And it's like, what do you actually have to commit to? Like that word commitment's thrown around, but it's like, but what are you committing to? And it was 4 modules. And one module was you have to commit to trusting yourself, and not just trusting the decisions you're making. But this is the biggest thing. This is the biggest bell that's not going off. If you are thinking about starting a business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, there's something about you that maybe you're not seeing, but you are the type of person who is not going to let shit fall apart. You have to trust that whatever happens, you will get through it.
Yeah.
Like, so what if you make that investment and you lose that money and nothing comes out of it? Are you going to go sit in the corner and just like watch them come take your house away? Like you have to trust that you will do something.
Yes. Yes. It's so important. It's so true.
The trust that you can handle all the what ifs in your head that come, if they happen to happen, so what? Trust that you can handle it.
And there's so many what ifs that I didn't think of in my head that have happened, where I'm on the other side of it now. And I'm like, I can handle anything.
It is. That's a whole nother conversation. I did it. I think I did. I don't know where it came up, but I was just like, all the things you think are going to happen are never going to happen. And everything that happens, you'll never be able to imagine in your head. So just stop with all the imagining.
Right. So think about that in the direction of the good shit too. Yeah. Right. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like think about the what if scenarios of like, well, what if it happens better than you could ever imagine? And like, I'm not saying that as an empty promise. I'm saying that as like, you literally can't imagine how good it's going to get. And you have to keep going.
But you have to trust that that's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you take that off the table?
Right.
If you only want to
Because
put up, you only want to put the disastrous options on the table.
right. But then it goes back to focus where people are like, my business isn't working. And you're like, but where's your focus? And you're only focused on those disastrous things that could happen or what's not working. And so when you're only focused on what's not working, you have to shift your energy. You have to shift your focus. You have to shift your vision into like, okay, this is inevitable. This is happening inevitably. There's no other choice. It is law. It has to happen. You take the inspired action and you move in that direction. Like it is going to happen. You don't know when it's going to happen, but does that matter?
No, it's again, so it's like next level focus.
Right.
I just had this conversation this morning with a client where money was tight and the focus was, what can I do to cut expenses and cut the bills? I was like, well, we could try to solve that problem, or we can solve the problem of what are you going to do to bring more money in?
That's a great point.
It's like, okay, I don't have money to pay my mortgage. You're probably not, well, what am I going to do to sell my house?
Yeah.
That's not the conversation you're going to have. You're going to say, what do I need to do to make the mortgage payment?
Exactly. Yeah. Start asking yourself, how can I make this happen?
Yeah.
I think that's such a good point. And I was listening to something, I don't know what it was, and they were like, cutting expenses is like
it's
not
downsizing.
going to get you there. Right.
I mean, in the corporate world, people like really get upset about corporations when they cut experiences, right? And cut people and do the downsizing. I'm like, is that where you are? Do you want to downsize and contract your business and your life? Where can we like funnel in the thing it is that you need?
Right. So every month when I meet with my bookkeeper and I look at my expenses, and then I have other meetings with my team and with my Facebook ads manager, and then I think about, okay, how can we bring in more money, right? Like, how can we amplify what we're doing, not cut back on anything? Because it took us to get to this point. It took the investing that it took to get to this point. So why would I cut what's working?
Yeah.
So
good. So we got lots of stuff. Next level investing, next level focus.
Yeah, there's so much here.
It is. And it's not just this magic wand of next level success, right? Like there's so much that goes with it. It's so good. Well, you and I could talk all afternoon.
Because
there's a point where I'm just like, okay. What? So anything else you want to leave people with?
I just want you all to know that, like, wherever you, like, the vision that you have of yourself in your mind, of that success that you desire and imagine, it is real. And so keep taking the steps towards that vision and towards that success, and like train your mindset, like do the work, obviously do the work to like keep the momentum going, because you create your own momentum. That's what I want people to know. Is I think a lot of people wait for momentum to happen in their business, and they're like, I'm doing, I'm doing, where's the momentum? Where is it? And like, you create your own momentum. So start telling yourself that I'm creating my own momentum. And what does that mean to you? And then how do you show up from that space?
Yeah. So good. Would you like to share real quickly what you have coming up? What's going on? Anything anyone might be interested in?
When is this airing right now?
It will air. It's so funny. We're having this conversation literally with the group. So guys, I don't edit, and this is just what it's like, and you don't have to make anything perfect. So like, if you're considering even starting a podcast, you're like, man, it's so much work. I don't even know. I'm like, no, you just fucking record something on Zoom and then upload it. And that's a starting point.
That's it.
That's it. So just do it. It'll be sometime mid-October, but you can also schedule a date if that need be.
Yeah, cool. So around that time, we'll be hosting, in the middle of October, I'll be hosting Big Coach Energy Live, which is our 4-day event that is like really going to help anyone who on here who feels like they want to be a coach, or has a desire to learn more about what we do, Big Coach Energy Live will help you really up-level your skill set, your craft, your mindset, your energy, all the things. And that kind of leads into QCA. So if you're interested in that, definitely, I'll give Gina the link and you can sign up.
Yeah. So everything you'll need to get in touch with Ashley and around that event will be in the show notes. So go find that. So Ashley, it's been so amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. And everyone, again, thank you for listening. Please go leave a review, follow us, do all the things that apparently affect the algorithm so that more people can find us and we can have more conversations, that kind of thing. And
tag us and let us know what part you liked on this episode. Let us know what resonated with you. I'm at thequantum.coach on Instagram. And
good one at Heart and Grit Coaching. See, I learned something from Ashley all the time. So that's going to be another little pitch in my spiel. And if you're a business owner, do that. Ask people to share, ask people to post, ask people to tag you, and then reshare that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm going to ask Gina if I can put this on my podcast later after she airs it.
Absolutely. It's going to happen. And we're going to figure out when Big Coach Energy is happening. I want to make sure that this gets released before that. So guys, this is how you do business.
Yeah. And here's another thing of how you do business. If you end up applying to QCA, make sure you put Gina on your application. Make sure you put this podcast on your application. Because I always like to, personally, I like to give affiliate commissions to anyone who, promotes anything that I do. And so, put her name on there.
And I feel like this could be a whole nother episode.
I know, we could. We'll keep that in mind.
So we will have, I've had a couple people and I'm like, okay, we had to do a second episode. So we will have you back post baby next year.
Yes.
And see where everything is then. All right. Everyone have an amazing afternoon, morning, whenever you're listening to this. And I'll catch you on the next episode.
Woo! We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fam. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at Manifest with Ash. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.